And not that I want, so there's been iatrogenic injury and harm done to that original problem through unintentionally, by trying to fix it, they unintentionally create more anxiety around that original problem. And so it's worse now than it was originally because all of these other things that are knotted up with the original problem, all the questions, all this thinking about the problem in new ways that cause anxiety, and also thinking about how the problem hasn't been resolved creates more anxiety around the original problem. And a lot of times this is when clients come to me for hypnotherapy because there's something that tells them that solving the problem with their subconscious mind is the answer. And anytime that you have a emotional element to your problem, it actually exists in the subconscious. It actually exists in the realm of the subconscious mind. And trying to solve the problem and trying to solve an emotional problem with logic and understanding doesn't work. It actually makes the anxiety bigger because it doesn't work. It actually shifts the anxiety because it doesn't work. Because trying to understand your problem is like when you're trying to ride a bike, just reading manuals, watching videos about how to ride a bike when you've never ridden a bike before. You can understand it. Injury. What is it? And has it happened to me? Think about something in the past that was unpleasant, something traumatic, big T or little t, that you're trying to get past, that you're trying to resolve. So think about when it first occurred, how you felt. And if you still have not resolved it, and it's been years, months, maybe years, I want you to think about how that feels now. And if it feels worse now than when it happened, all the things that you've been trying to do to resolve it may have unintentionally created more harm. And this is what I've noticed is my clients have had some type of traumatic experience in the past. And they've been doing things, different therapies, sometimes with different therapists and different modalities. But they still have that problem. But now the problem seems a bit worse because now they have anxiety around the original problem. This anxiety that they feel that it should be gone by now, but why isn't it gone? And how do I actually fix this problem? And so there's this underlying emotional aspect to the problem that wasn't there when they first experienced the problem. And so what they've been doing to try to help themselves has unintentionally caused harm. And this is what iatrogenic injury is. So I find my clients come to me when they've tried a lot of different things and the problem still is persisting. They're not able to resolve that problem or get past it. They're stuck emotionally. But not only are they stuck now, they have this kind of anxiety around the problem being stuck, but you still aren't able to do it. Meaning You've read about balance, you've read about steering and braking and pedaling, but when you get on that bike, understanding isn't enough to have you ride that bike successfully. And this is because with emotional issues, with emotional problems, with problems that have an emotional aspect to them, logic and understanding doesn't work. But inside of a hypnotherapy session, you can learn how to ride a bike. Actually learn. You can get on the bike and pedal and balance and steer and brake, and you can learn how to do all those things together so that you can actually ride that bike, and that bike can get you to wherever you want to go as a solution. So sometimes clients contact me to get more understanding. And it's not quite understanding that will help you, but perhaps there'll be some insights that will, as you're riding the bike, experiencing riding the bike in your hypnosis session, in your hypnotherapy session, that will allow you to be able to ride that bike successfully after your hypnotherapy session. So hypnosis can work well. So I do like it when clients have come. So hypnotherapy is great for clients who have tried a lot of things, tried everything. Even if they've tried hypnotherapy before and it didn't work, accelerated hypnotherapy can still help them, because therapy is amazing. Don't get me wrong. If you have issues, it is good to talk about issues. It is good to hear yourself talking about your problems. And sometimes in talking about your problems and hearing yourself talking about them or having to articulate what's going on can help to solve problems. And then if your problems can be solved through that, through the conscious mind, through that articulation, setting things, kind of organizing things logically so that you can understand them. If that solves your problem, then that's great. But a lot of times there's this emotional element that you actually can't put into words. And so this is why there's such a problem to resolve that emotional aspect of your problems. Because feelings are not easily articulated. I mean, you could say like you're afraid or you have anxiety, but I can say I have anxiety and you can say you have anxiety, and your experience might be, 10 times the experience that I'm having. So anxiety doesn't quite capture exactly what it is you're feeling. And so hypnotherapy has tools to resolve those emotional issues. So don't get me wrong, what you've been trying to do up until now. So it's good to try to resolve your problems, obviously. Therapy is wonderful, but if it can't take you all the way across the finish line, then maybe you need something else. Something that is able to work with that emotional aspect of your problems. And that's what I believe hypnotherapy is. So even if you've had hypnotherapy before, I want you to realize that there's different types of therapy. I want you to realize there's different types of hypnotherapy. Like there's different types of cars. There's like the car that I used to have, this beater car that could hardly pass air care when there was a thing called air care. And then there's like the finely tuned racing car, like a Porsche or something like that. And so there's different modalities that beater car that I had might not be able to get you to where you need to go. It might break down somehow inside of the process. And that Porsche could quickly get you to where you want to be in your life. And also, so there are different types of therapy. There's different types of hypnotherapy, and there's different operators. So there is a race car driver or there's the average driver. So the average driver may not be able to drive the Porsche in the way that you would like to have that Porsche perform. And then there's the race car driver that could actually get into that beater and have it perform quite well, but still it can only get you so far. So when a professional driver is in the Porsche, they can get you to where you need to go, where you want to be very quickly. And so even if you've tried hypnotherapy before, because a lot of clients have tried hypnotherapy with different degrees, when I tried hypnotherapy for the first time, it didn't work at all. Because obviously I had problems that I was going to hypnotherapy for, and I tried a couple sessions, but I didn't feel any shift. But that doesn't mean that another hypnotherapist using a different method of hypnotherapy, a different modality, can't get you to where you need to go and get you there quickly. So if you've tried therapy, you've tried hypnotherapy, and you still have that problem, you might have a lot of anxiety around the problem. It might have even kind of trickled out to other areas of your life and that are affecting other areas of your life, like work. It might even be affecting work, or you may worry about it affecting your social life or your relationship. Accelerated hypnotherapy can still work for you. And for some reason, I do like working with these clients that have tried everything. Somehow these clients somehow these clients find me. I think with their superconscious mind knows how to find me. And in just a few sessions, often it's just one session for years and years of having this problem. Because I know how to work with your emotions. I'm not afraid of your emotions. I've had to sit with my emotions for months and months and months. So I sat with my emotions in mindfulness, in a mindfulness practice for almost a year. And I have to say, and the problem when I first started, I could feel this anxiety right when I woke up, in the afternoon, and right before I went to bed. And so I did this mindfulness practice at least 3 times a day. And I sat with these difficult, anxious feelings for almost a year. And I have to say, at the end of that year, the problem was worse. I feel like what happened from a neuroscience perspective, that schedule of mindfulness practice 3 times a day got my brain into, I don't know if it even almost created it so that my brain and my body kind of learned to go into this heightened anxiety when I woke up and last thing before I went to bed. And I feel like somehow I reinforced that through mindfulness that wasn't actually working. So I actually had to stop that practice. And so in trying to help my problem, that mindfulness practice actually, I feel like that mindfulness practice was actually kind of keeping it in place. And don't get me wrong, I love mindfulness practice. I think mindfulness can be an access to resolving that. But for me, it wasn't. There was something missing that I found inside of hypnotherapy because I carried that anxiety with me until I found hypnotherapy. And so whatever you've been trying, really think, how does my anxiety or how does my problem feel now compared to the problem when it first started? And if there's that heightened emotional if there's now a more complex emotional element or aspect to it, maybe it's time to try something different. And if you're ready to try that, I'd love to hear from you.